there YouTube! Boy, do I have a book wrap up for you. So this is going to be my summer reads wrap up. It's not the end of summer yet, but the pile of books that I have here is huge. I think I've read the most amount of books in the summer than I have all year, so it's best to just do this wrap up right now before it gets too out of hand. First we'll start with audiobooks. I read 2 audiobooks this summer, and it was The Glass Magician and The Master Magician by Charlie N. Holmberg. I read the first book, The Paper Magician, I think in the spring. Also listened to it on audiobook, and it didn't get much better. I really don't think I like this series. I like the world that it's in, but the story was just like not that great. I think my biggest problem with this series is the romantic relationship in it, where it's essentially between a student and a teacher, somebody who is much older than the very young protagonist, and it just kind of was a little squeamish for me. I didn't really see the older teacher, really have any feelings or show any type of affection for the girl, and it just kind of like didn't make sense to me. Like, I understand the reasoning for it within the story, I didn't buy it. While it does have an interesting magic system, I'm not for the story at all. So I gave both The Glass Magician and The Master Magician 2 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read is Dream a Little Dream by Kirsten Gier, and I actually have a physical copy of this book. I just forgot it downstairs, so I don't have it with me right now. This book was essentially about this girl who has some like weird control over her dreams, and then this thing that, I'm not going to spoil it, but this thing that she gets mixed up with these boys from school. While the dream side of this book was really interesting because it had a lot to do with lucid dreaming, and I'm really interested in lucid dreaming, the rest of it just kind of felt like a little flat, and the author was just kind of reaching for a way to bring these characters together. It felt like it wasn't very thought out. This is the start to a series, but I don't think I'm going to read the rest of the series. I might later because I just like finishing series that I hate for some reason. I'm not gonna rush to finish this series. So I gave Dream a Little Dream 2 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read was Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I made a whole video on my thoughts for that, so go watch that and comment because I want to talk about this book with people. But I gave Harry Potter and the Cursed Child 3 out of 5 stars. Next I read The Dark Days Club by Alison Goodman, and this is another book that I liked the kind of magic system or the world that it was in, but just like there was a relationship in it that kind of irked me. I like this one a little bit more than The Glass Magician. I think I didn't get as bored with it. It was kind of good but kind of not good. That's why I gave it 3 stars. I really did like the historical aspect of this, and it seemed like it was really well researched. Pretty much all of the male characters were horrible humans to women, but that seems like it might be historically accurate, so this book was just kind of okay. Next I read A Little Something Different by Sandy Hall, and this is a romance book, and it's about 2 college kids and how they get together, but the interesting part about this is that it's told through other people's perspectives, so you never actually get exactly what the characters who are in the relationship or going to be in the relationship, you never actually get inside their head. You're inside their friends and their roommates and their brothers and the park bench and the squirrel and their teachers, and it was really, really cute. It kind of reminded me of the romance in Rainbow Rowell books, but it didn't really kind of have that depth that made me fall in love with Rainbow Rowell books, but the romance was kind of similar. I mean, this book's selling point is that it's told through different perspectives. So I'm glad I read it, but it's not my favorite book ever. So I gave A Little Something Different 3 out of 5 stars. As for graphic novels, I read Cursed Pirate Girl Volume 1 by Jeremy A. Bastian. I did a whole wrap-up review thing in my Booktubeathon wrap-up, so you can go and watch that for my thoughts, but quickly, really, really great art. So if you really like really great art in black and white, then definitely pick this up. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Next I read Giant Days Volume 2. So Giant Days is a series that I'm in love with that is about 3 girls in college, and they're kind of figuring out college life, relationship, sexuality, that type of thing, and it's really great. I didn't love volume 2 as much as I loved volume 1, but that might have just been because volume 1 was something so new. This one kind of went more into like relationships and finding yourself and like not changing yourself for a relationship, and I thought that was a really great message. So again, I would recommend Giant Days to anyone, especially any girl who's feeling lost, who's about to go to college. Definitely a good read. Gave Giant Days Volume 2 4 out of 5 stars. Next I read, this is the most recent book that I read, but I read The Princess Bride by William Goldman, and I love this movie. I was supposed to read this for Booktubeathon, and I love this movie, and it's great. And if you want a good book to movie adaptation, like word for word, read this book because it's exactly like the movie, minus a few things that I don't think would work well in a movie. This was really good. It was told in a really weird way. It's kind of told as if it's being abridged from an existing older novel, but the existing older novel doesn't actually exist. This guy wrote the whole thing, and he acts like that author is a real person when it's just somebody he made up. So it's really interesting and really weird to read something like that, and he kind of interjects with like commentary of what he cut out of the original novel, and I thought that was really fun and inventive. So if you like the Princess Bride movie, read this because it gives you kind of a little more background on all the characters that you love. Also, I got this beautiful illustrated edition and the pictures are very pretty. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I have The Winter's Curse by Marie Brodsky and Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. I read both of these for Booktubeathon, so you can go and watch my Booktubeathon wrap-up video for more in-depth reviews, but I loved both of these. 5 out of 5 stars for both. And lastly, I read Stars Above by Marissa Meyer, and this is a novella collection for the Lunar Chronicles, which is a series that I read this year that I fell in love with, and I'm so obsessed. So this is kind of like little snippets that didn't like make it, I guess not didn't make it into the original series, but kind of were like missing scenes, deleted scenes from the original series. So you get some background on Scarlett's grandmother, and you get some things about Kai, and there's an original story about a android that's kind of like the Little Mermaid, and that's really good. And then there is a after series story in here that was so cute, and if you should just buy this book just for that. Like, it made this whole thing worth it. Some of them I felt like I was kind of skipping through, but the last one, just like, oh my god, I loved it. I loved it so much, and I love Prince Kai so much. Cress and Thorn are adorable. So I wish there was a little bit more of them. Probably my only complaint is that there wasn't as much Cress and Thorn as I wanted, but I'm fine. It's fine. I love this series. So I gave this 5 out of 5 stars, obviously. And that's all I've read in the summer. I don't know what I'm gonna read next. I kind of have some decisions to make, but I'm on track for my Goodreads reading goal. I'm supposed to read 50 books this year. I'm at 27, so I'm getting there. I think I'll be able to do it. Let me know in the comments what you've been reading, or if you have any suggestions on what I should read next. That would be much appreciated, and I want to know what you're reading. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel for more nerdy bookness. Alright, I'm Christy Luke. Till next time, matane!